Hey everyone, welcome to episode 22 of this Shrants. Once again, of course, I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated, backyard superstar, one and only Tim Vicious. I am, with this one, what I'm going to be talking about here, plain and simple, it's basically, I'm just talking about on how the storylines and on how the writers are basically just backing themselves into a corner. Basically, because I want you to think about on how some of the stories and the feuds have been going lately, and it's pretty much bullshit. You got the Cena Ryback situation, which, for all intents and purposes, it's a half decent feud, but all in all, what really it's just, if you seen the pay-per-view and you saw their match, they kind of backed themselves into a corner basically at the end. You had Ryback spear Cena through the light stage. Both of them got tased basically, and then next thing you know, okay, you have Ryback come out on Monday, challenge him to an ambulance match for the next pay-per-view, but where to from there? Yeah, and the fact that you've had basically Sheamus and Randy Orton feuding with the Shield non-stop for X amount of months without giving a sole reason for them saying on why they're feuding with them, just putting them in matches, and then right out of nowhere, one or the other winds up beating on each other like crazy. What happened to the originality? What happened to someone saying, I'm feuding with you because of this or this? Hell, Ryback at least had enough sense to say on why he was feuding with Cena. He was saying he was because the Shield wound up messing with him so many times, and Cena never came out. Anytime the Shield attacked Cena, Ryback was out. And yeah, what does that show us? The writers it's almost as if the writers really don't care. I know I just read yesterday one of the big writers just left, which is saying something because he's only been there for about 4 to 6 months. So, listen, if anyone in WWE is watching this or anything, and you guys really need some writers, look me or any of these people up. We can come up with some really good stories for the show. Guarantee. And we can even keep it PG still. We don't have to have it be all sex and violence. We don't have to have it be sex and uber violence, like it was in the 90s. But it's unnecessary to have 90% story and 10% action, especially when the 90% story is mediocre at best. It's insultive. It's insultive to the fan base. And it's unreal. It's unreal on how you guys wind up acting like that and then go and try and glorify on how you guys are the big top dogs of the wrestling business and don't even bother to attempt to acknowledge that there's any other kind of wrestling organization out there in the world. I can't figure out why you guys do that. I'm not saying you have to go and name drop, like you have to mention Impact or Ring of Honor or New Japan or Combat Zone or anything like that. But, at least say that, that they're at least acknowledge that there's other organizations out there. have the, yep, best way on how you can improve the storylines. Don't script the guys. Don't tell them that they have to read off of these scripts. Give them a few keynotes on what they have to talk about and on what to say, but have the rest of it be all them and all natural. That way their promos don't feel so choppy and forced. You know? Actually have the guys work on it even when they're not in the ring when they're not in the ring, you know? Like if they're in a hotel room or if they're at home or whatever, just simple enough. Just be like, hey, can you go and work on this and this? So that way next week on Raw or SmackDown or something, we can talk about, when you go and talk about it, it'll look more serious or more emotional or something. I mean, hell, so far the only thing that I've actually been relatively impressed with WWE lately is the fact that, you know, one, they finally got their heads out of their ass and gave the Shield titles, which is something that was well due. And two, the fact that they wound up giving Joe Hennig, which if none of you guys know who I'm talking about, one, I want you to get a fork and stab yourself in the eye for not fucking knowing that. Not knowing that kind of name and heritage that name carries. And two, honestly, if you really don't know who Joe Hennig is, look up Michael McGillicuddy. Same guy. And that they brought him out and they're going to give him a push. Now, I can't say one thing or another if I'm going to see him as a main eventer, because when Paul Heyman brought out Brock Lesnar, I didn't think he would be a main eventer. And look what happened. So some guys you can see, some guys you can't. I don't want to take the risk, and I don't want to do that kind of gamble with Hennig or Curtis Axel, as he likes to call himself, as he's being rebuilt as. But still say technically in the books he beat Triple H on Raw. Alright, and but have the younger talent work with the older talent. Have the older talent coach them behind the scenes. You know? Be like, hey kid, you did good with this and this, but next time why don't you go and try and bring up this and that, or act like that. Things like that, you know? It's just an idea. It's an idea. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that. If I am, okay, but if I'm not, and there are plenty of other people out there that are watching this that have thought that for months or years, you know, I'm glad I got the chance to take it out and bring it out there and speak on all you people's behalf. Sorry for sounding all agita, throat's fucked up, and not all the way there right now in the head. But anyways, you know, the storylines are what are going to be what attract the people to the show. Because I know for a fact, when I was a kid, what drew me into wrestling, well, yeah, I grew up in Philadelphia and I grew up on the original ECW. I also grew up, before I came across ECW, I was watching WWF Saturday Night Main Event, and, with Vince McMahon, Jerry Lawler, and Bobby the Brain Heenan and all doing the commentary with Hulk Hogan and Doink the Clown and Ted DiBiase. It was the characters and the stories that got me interested in it when I was a kid. And as I got older, I realized I got more and more into it, and, the rest is history, so to say. I'm not going to go and do another autobiography saying on how I wound up going through wrestling and all, like I've done 500,000 times. I'm going to start boring you all to death with that. But it's improve the stories. That's my big thing. Improve the storylines, and you'll improve the feuds, you improve the feuds, you'll improve the action, you improve the action, you'll draw a bigger fan base. You draw a bigger fan base, you'll get more money. You see where I'm going with this? Huh? It's a good idea, ain't it? I mean, I like to think it is. So, anyways, about time to wrap this all up. So, once again, like normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Go back, watch all the other episodes. Got any questions, complaints, comments, concerns, leave them on down below, or look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also, don't forget to check out all of these cool ass cats right here. KCat26. One of these days, swear, me and Cat, we are going to have that match that I keep plugging on Twitter. Me and her knee deep in a thing of pudding. I'm dressed up as Deadpool. She's going to be in a purple morph suit. I don't even care when we're old, fat, and bald and ugly. Still doing it. My brother from another mother, James Steele, JX2001. That Roxy girl _ it's V bitch. Make sure you check out James, Roxy, and Vicky's shows on YouTube also. They're on who I subscribe to on here. Alright? I am Danny Sunday, the next big thing in wrestling, guaranteed. Make sure you check him out. Mucky Morris, Charmaine. Check out her podcast, Brit Wrestle Chat. Really good show, good insight on British wrestling. Helen Robinson 82, Meow _ Cakes. Jerry Soriano, Team Custom Made, Cranky Asshole. Got the cane that you gave me from the job we did in '98. Canes the asses. Stacy Impact W fan. Stace, like I said, if I was over there, I'd do wrestling school with you. Legion Lady Aaron, Legion of Nerds. Also, don't forget to check out legionofnerds.com. And once again, if you love me, great. If you hate me, fuck you.